So nothing crazy formal. Everybody, welcome to the STL Hockey Fan Podcast. We have a special guest with our second episode, someone I'm very excited to talk to, Miss Jordan Deeken. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. This is awesome for me. So first, I guess we can kind of delve into, something that probably everybody's wondering with the Blues. Just what's your take on what's going on right now with these guys?
It's very confusing. Very, very confusing because it feels like everybody is saying all the right things, but then once you get out on the ice, nobody looks like they're on the same page. So I actually went to practice this morning because they're heading to Toronto tomorrow. And there was even a little Q&A session at the end of practice, Monty standing up at the board, multiple players asking questions, and then him giving answers. And afterwards, when he talked to the media, he said he wants there to be no gray area whatsoever. So hopefully if everybody's on the same page off the ice, that'll soon translate to on the ice. But as for how they get out of this, it feels like they fix one issue and another one arises. So hopefully they can just keep digging those issues out and it'll all come together, hopefully on this road trip. I have good feelings about this road trip because it's a long one and hopefully they can bond on and off the ice.
Yeah, I was seeing that they haven't had more than a 2-day road trip.
Yes.
So yeah, I understand the getting together. I saw the quote, something they'll have meals together, they'll all that stuff. So yeah, definitely hope that helps.
Yes.
And I completely understand what you said about the one problem and then another one arises. I think Joey Vitale said it as it's pretty much like whack-a-mole. And so it just seems like with games like against the Capitals and against the last one we had, my brain's already trying to make it a repressed memory. It seems like they're skating against the current. It just seems like they're real sluggish. I think Justin Falk said that they ended up on autopilot. So the question has already been asked, but still, like, just how do you think they actually get out of it?
I don't know. It's very interesting because, like you mentioned, Falk, and I've heard a lot of talk on 101 lately about your all of your leadership is lead by example type leaders. There's not a lot of people in that locker room that are super vocal that wear a letter. There's Shen, there's Thomas, there's Parayko, there's Falk. All of those guys are lead by example, but especially when you look at the D line with Parayko, Broberg, Fowler, Falk, like your top four on that D line is lead by example when they might need to be more vocal than they are used to. And that could go for the entire team, right? Like we all know Jake Neighbors is very vocal out right now, hopefully coming back on this road trip. But I don't know, Monty said it after last game, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same result is the definition of insanity. And he said at practice today, they didn't really change anything up. They talked about like kind of a different message about moving your feet more often and everything like that. But structure isn't changing yet. So I think it'll be interesting to see how individual players not necessarily tweak their own games, but maybe step up in a leadership way that they haven't yet to try to find a spark to get them out of this.
Yeah, and I would definitely love to see, some type of spark. So we'll kind of end the actual Blues talk because I have a bunch of questions for you.
Okay.
So with my last thing on the Blues talk, they say Doug Armstrong is out there, he's open to trades and all of that. So if there were to be any trades, who do you think is our most valuable that we are not like dead set on keeping?
It's a very difficult question because valuable who we're willing to give up versus what you give back, where they're actually willing to go. There's a lot of no trade clauses on this team. So I think it's more realistic to think that you might see somebody that's not so much in the lineup right now paired with somebody that could be in the lineup more consistently rather than like giving up a superstar to get a superstar. But Doug Armstrong will do literally whatever he wants. He
Yes, he
said it
will.
doesn't even matter if he's going up against his mother. So, like,
Yeah.
whatever is going to make this organization better now and in the future, because he's worried about now. Like, it's
Yes.
not a secret that everybody is worried about now, but he's also worried about Steen and what he can do to help him.
Yep.
So, it's nothing is ever off the table, I have learned, for Doug Armstrong. So, it's very hard to answer that question because,
Yeah.
like I said, it's value versus willing to keep versus that player actually willing to go. It's a lot of things that have to work out for Armstrong, but
Yeah.
he's made it work in the past so many times. So I wouldn't be surprised if something valuable comes through, he will pounce on it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I trust Army. I've seen some crazy moves, but I've seen some like non-movement, staying pat, and then you end up,
Absolutely.
2019, you end up with the cup. So I
Absolutely.
trust him. So okay, so my research may not be incredible, so bear with me here.
No
I was
worries.
not able to find, where you're from. Where you grew up. Are you a St. Louis native? Are you what do they call it? Transplant? Like, where are you from?
Oh, absolutely. I'm from Wentzville, Missouri, born
Oh,
and
okay.
raised. So I'm about like 40 minutes out from St. Louis. I actually started going to Blues games when I was like 6 to 9 months old.
Oh,
My
wow.
parents were season ticket holders 1997 to COVID time. We just couldn't keep up with it after that. But yeah, I grew up Scott Trade Center turned Enterprise Center. And it was where I knew I wanted to be for the rest of my life. So yes, born and raised here and have been a fan for as long as I can remember.
See, and that's amazing because I went through your website. It has a lot of really good information.
Thank
You've
you.
done a ton of stuff that I find myself and a lot of blues players probably or players fans have heard and listened to probably all the time. The 101 ESPN stuff, the Curbside. I listen to Curbside all the time. So you've done a ton of stuff that we all kind of consume. So um, I would like to know, how do you get into something like that, like broadcasting and all that? Like, I personally, I have a bachelor's in music production because I feel like a lot of people are like, I want to play guitar. You know what I mean? Something like that. But broadcasting, it's a bit different. So how do you get into something like that?
Well, so I majored in broadcast communications at Lindenwood University. I graduated in technically, I was taking a summer class up until August of 22. I walked in May. And then Blues training camp came around September, was at Centene. Chris Kerber had came to Lindenwood to give like a master class a couple of times. And so we had been emailing a little bit back and forth, never really found a time to meet, but just kind of like interested, like you said, like how do you break into this business,
Yeah,
especially as a female? Like it's very hard sometimes.
yeah,
So I was just very persistent, made sure he did not forget my name. And so when I was finally done with school and went to Centene, waited for kind of the place to clear out and for him to walk out. He was walking out with Darren Pang, and I just went up to him
yeah.
and was just gonna ask, if he ever had time to get together, and we sat down right there, and I was offered the job on the spot to work for him every home game, as the radio booth producer assistant. It started as an internship and then evolved. So yeah, persistency is key in my mind. I never dreamed that I would be here, but also worked really hard to get here. So it's been a very long time coming, but it's also like every night that I worked at Enterprise Center was like a full circle moment. And now every day and night that I work at the radio station is still like somebody pinch me, because like walking these hallways, I just never even imagined. So
Oh, absolutely. I mean, being into like audio and all of that stuff, I I listen to what you do, and like the behind the scenes portions of everything fascinate me. So I can
yes.
only imagine being able to like take the stuff that you like to do, and it leads you into like a fandom you already had. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned like behind the scenes stuff. There's so much that like I never knew. Like, like the pull behind, like the curtain moment, peek behind the curtain. Like,
Yep.
there's just so much stuff. And, working like every Blues game on the board now, like I'm cutting highlights, I'm listening to the TV truck because it's also a simulcast now. So, like,
Right.
knowing when to go to break and everything, like it's a lot that nobody even like thinks about, and I never thought about even knowing that I was going into this business. So it's really cool, and I absolutely love music. Just have to throw that out there. So
Oh,
I think
nice.
music production is also very, very fascinating for me.
Well, okay, so we can kind of segue into that then. So just kind of your, personality and whatnot. So what kind of music do you listen to, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I try to say I listen to everything except
Yeah.
for like screamo. I'm the type of person that likes to like sing along. So if I
Yeah.
can't understand or like get the message that like we're trying to convey, it's hard for me to connect, but that doesn't mean I won't listen to it. My ultimate favorite band is this band called Laney, Lany.
Okay.
Um, Spotify describes them as like indie pop, but I think they have like a very good variety.
Yeah.
And I've seen them in concert a couple times. Concerts are like one of my favorite live music, like is one of my favorite
Yes.
hobbies ever. So that like kind of reignited a spark for me last year. And like, I don't know, that was really fun. So yeah, I love music, but I've also been getting into like listening to frequencies and
Okay.
like
No,
those
explain that,
so
please.
calm. It is so calming. Like you can look up, I have a morning frequency playlist, I have a calm, I have a focus, I have a nighttime one. Like if I like need to set down the screen and I'm like go to bed, I'll
Mhm.
turn that on and I'm out within like 15 minutes. But I know my Spotify Wrapped is going to be like all of these frequencies instead of like the actual music that I listen to because I'm so busy all the time. But like
Right.
keeping a calm, I have very high functioning anxiety, so like keeping a calm
Yeah.
state is important for me. So it's something that I've recently got into, but I highly recommend it. It has helped a lot.
I it's something I'm definitely like interested in because when I think of frequencies, what I think is like EQing a song or something like that,
Mm,
EQing a specific the bass so that it doesn't clash with the kick or something like that.
right.
So hearing that like there are other like I guess uses for these
Yes.
frequencies, and also the human body just and the human mind are incredible, very fascinating that these things can even like manipulate it in that way.
Absolutely.
Okay, so a regular day, actually take me through a game day if you can. Like what's preparation like, and you know so you're actually working the board as as the game is going on, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So typical game day, especially if it's a home game, there's usually a morning skate. So I'll go to morning skate at Enterprise Center and then I'll come back and post the videos that I got or cut up the audio that I got. And then I also do some work on 1057 The Point. I produce the Woody Show that goes from 2 to 6 p.m. So I do that work during the day. And then once pregame starts at like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, obviously, like I do the whole like montage recap that goes at like the
Yep.
beginning of, all of that stuff, all of the extra behind the scenes that
Right.
we don't have to talk about. But yeah, once pregame starts at 5 or 6 o'clock, usually running that with Alex Ferrario, and then roll into the game with Chris Kerber and Joey Vitalia at 7 o'clock, and that's when we take the simulcast. So that's when I put the TV truck in my ear and I'm knowing when to go to break and everything like that. During the game, I'm cutting up highlights so that when we get to the intermission, you can hear the goals and saves and everything like that were made during that period. And Alex Ferrario does those intermission reports too. So
Right.
he also does that post game show. Sometimes Joey Vitale jumps on. So that usually like 7 o'clock puck drop. Post game usually wraps into like around 10:30, I'd say, and then I'm there doing post game audio, curbside, sending a whole bunch of emails and everything like that. pretty late,
Yeah, yeah.
and then make a drive home, sit right here, film my reaction video.
Yep.
So they can be pretty long. I feel like I've been
Yeah.
talking for a really long time. They feel like they can be really long days. But again, like I wouldn't have any other way.
Of
It's
course.
so
No,
cool.
I would say that is like that sounds like such an intense just work day
That
and
is the longest version though. Like today was not that. I went to practice today and then I did my Woody show work. So like it was really like, like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And like if that's
gotcha.
like a regular, that's regular, shorter than people's regular work days.
Right.
It's just my game days are usually longer than 12 hours.
Oh
So,
my
like
goodness.
it all evens out. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, you mentioned the TV truck. So anytime that I've heard, if I get a behind the scenes video of anything, like I'll sit here and analyze. I love knowing what's happening back there. So
Absolutely.
what I hear is like they're constantly going, right? Like so
Yes.
is it hard to focus on like that and what's happening and what you're doing?
It's been an adjustment for sure.
Okay.
We all thought, so I have taken over for Grant Francis. He has done this job, ran the board, and been the blues producer on the radio side for the past 3 years when I was working at Enterprise Center with Curbs and being his booth assistant. So I've taken over for him. And so we had a nice transitional period where like both of us were there if we needed to be. And, you are at what most of the time listening to three different things at once. So it can get a little bit, but it's also like when you do a good job, you're like, hey,
Right.
you're
You're
good
like
at your job,
I'm pretty good at
like
this.
I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah.
And like that gives you confidence, and then like sometimes you challenge yourself to be even faster, But like there are mistakes, like we're all human, like it's as long as you are making an effort and like communicating, like I communicate with Alex during the entire game, like pre to post, like we are in constant communication, even when Curbs and Joey are on the call. So it's just very there's a lot that goes into
Yeah.
it, and it was very overwhelming. I won't lie during that transitional period, but I mean now it's just like a fun challenge.
Now it's
So
just a work day.
now it's just a work day.
Yeah. Well, okay, so something that I have kind of I don't know, it's made me wonder. So like and this is the nerdy stuff that I think about. So I watch the post game shows and there are days where we have away games, right? And so
Mhm.
like those away games, Alex Ferrario he's at the game, right?
No, so away games he's in the studio with me, and then home games he's at Enterprise Center.
Okay, so I'm going to sound stupid here. So
Never.
is our Curbs and Joey, they are at
Curbs and Joey travel. Alex does not.
okay, so is it only the home games I'm seeing him talking to Vitali?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. Because
Yes.
I hear him he says something like we're going to go to our, soundbite of the night and
hmm
then you do, but still it is still remote. Are you where are you when that's happening?
So I'm in the Creve Coeur stations at 101 the entire time. Whether it's home or away games, I'm at the 101 studio
Okay.
pressing all the buttons.
Right.
Alex is with me in that studio during away games, just like he would be during BK and Ferrario stands in the same spot. I think it's really funny. But then for home games, he's up top on the fourth floor, like in the radio booth with our engineer, Jim Hewer, and some people that come like in and out. He's up on like press row. So, and then Curbs and Joey are down, I believe, on that second level, where like John Kelly used to sit with
Right.
all of the TV cameras and everything like that. So
Okay, so then he's still basically remotely saying like I need this clip played and then you play it from there. So like how is there not and again nerdy how is there not any like latency to that? I know sometimes there is, but
absolutely.
like
Um,
how you doing that?
uh, Again, we're just texting, or like if you ever see, I'm sure you see on the YouTube post game show, like his mouth is always moving and you never hear him talking because like audio's playing or anything like that. So
Yep.
like most of the time him and I are like talking to each other, telling like, like hit the soundbite of the night out of this, or like last game he was talking to Joey and he texted me and he was like, who has better audio from the locker room, and it was Shen and Falk. And, you know, nobody wants to hear from anybody after a loss like that.
Yeah.
But also, I was like, you know, we hear from the captain a lot, so let's go with Falk. And, you know, so, but yeah, it's just constant like we're just texting or like using my little talkback button where nobody can hear me, but he
I
can hear me.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the stuff that like just
Yeah.
runs around in my head. Cause like I feel like a lot of people, you know, they just listen to it, they get the information. I'm sitting there like analyzing, almost predicting stuff. I'm like to see if I would be good at it. I'm not,
No, that's cool.
um, but I do wonder. So like, you know, you're talking about who has good audio, and so like, and nobody wants to hear, you know, somebody on a loss. So that's correct. I personally think that the players themselves, you know, no offense to them, they do say most of the same things. Because I assume that kind of stuff isn't really like that's not for us. Like that's for them in the locker room. We're not supposed to hear all that. But Monty, on the other hand, hearing Monty after a loss, like I see that as
Mhm.
incredibly important because
Absolutely.
I know he's level headed. He knows what's you know what's going on there, and just like Hitchcock was one, he's very honest about what's going
Mhm.
on. So, do you find that you get a lot of like I don't know, I don't want to say listens, but like a lot more attention to Monty's stuff than the boys?
I would say in the past more so than right now because people are also calling for his head, which doesn't make sense.
No,
You
not at
know,
all.
like he's not going anywhere. He is
No.
not the problem. And not saying like anybody specifically is the problem, but he
Right.
is not the problem. So I'd say right now, less than like people are like, Monty says the same thing, you know, like it's, you know, all of the same things right now. But I personally, like the first time that he spoke at a press conference and I got to be there in person, I was just like, I learned so much from him every time he speaks. And like, even when his like personality comes out a little bit,
Yeah.
like it's just so fun to like get to know him as a human, but also like understand like just when they like pans to him when he's on the bench, like you can just tell his brain is constantly going.
Yes.
And as someone that has 17 tabs open at all times, I
Right.
can't imagine what his life is like leading a whole professional hockey team. But like, I personally think he is one of the most educated coaches we've had, like you mentioned, Hitch, in a really long time. Like, I love hearing him speak and I love learning from him. I think I learn something new every time he speaks to the media and I love it. So he's not going anywhere.
No, definitely not. And you're right. I see the same things where, you know, people are like, well, I made a video about it, shameless plug, where somebody was like, do we get rid of Monty or somebody else? I'm like, for one, I don't really think you get rid of anybody.
Nobody.
You know, I think you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're getting Mayu, you know, his time. He got a goal apparently down there.
He did.
So good job for him. Um,
Yes.
Hunter Skinner gets some time up here. I like him.
I feel like
You know,
him.
I think they're doing the right things, and I think it's just gonna take a while, and we all just got to kind of sit through it.
It's hard, yeah. It's hard to say that because you're 20 games in, you know,
Hmm.
like everyone's like, eventually these goal scorers will score and eventually the defense will click and eventually, and I'm like, right.
Yeah.
And is that insanity? Is that expecting like eventually it'll go in for you? Like I know Pavel Buchnevich is the topic of conversation for a lot of people right now and still not
Yes.
having an even strength goal. And like I know, I think it was Matthew DeFranks that put out a article for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and you can't say any of those words on the radio, but like he was not speaking kindly about himself, and it's just you know like they know like it's not
Right.
you know it's not a secret like they know they should be better and they know they can be better but like how and
Right.
that's where everybody's at and like being patient honestly like you said is probably what's going to be needed but that's kind of hard
Oh
for
yeah.
a lot of fan bases, but especially in St. Louis, you know, we always I say we because I'm a fan too. Like we always have expected the best from all of our sports teams,
Yeah.
and you know when everything is set to be working and everyone seems to be on the same page, and then it's not. It's just very confusing. So
Yep.
hopefully patience gets us to where we need to be.
Well, I will say, Blues fans in the stands, last game were not as
I heard it.
patient. There was a
I heard
lot of
it.
boo birds.
Yeah.
And I mean, I assume players know. Like, I mean, maybe they don't frequent the comment section of a bunch of posts or all that stuff. Which, I mean, I wouldn't in their shoes because there's some crazies out there.
Yeah.
Um, but like, they know that the fans are disappointed. Um, so, I mean, I guess that's just their way of letting them know.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
in the worst way. I mean, I know we're frustrated and all that stuff, but also it's kind of just a game.
Yeah, it is just a game. You kind of have to see like who you're playing and like what kind of crowd that can draw. I had to say like what night of the week it is, like all of that stuff can definitely have an impact of what kind of fans are in the stands.
True.
But at the same time, like they pay their hard-earned money, like, to go and watch a game. And if they are not liking what they're seeing, like honestly, is booing really the worst thing in the entire world?
Okay,
Probably not.
maybe not
Probably
chucking
not.
stuff on the ice.
But oh my goodness, never. We do not support that at all.
Nope.
But at the same time, like those players know. Do they really need to hear you booing? Probably not.
Right.
Probably not. But to each their own. I'm not going to judge anybody. I think you should feel however you want to feel and express it however you want to express it.
Agreed. Okay, so we'll come away from that a little bit. I do have a question. So obviously we've talked about like how you began, what you're doing now, but what's the goal? Like, what's the highest high that you're trying to get to?
Yeah, so the ultimate goal I think is to be on camera either doing some color or intermission work or play by play is seems a little intimidating, but everything comes with practice. Whenever I first started and was like, I could never do that. And then I tried, I was like, oh, okay. It's
Yeah.
really, and that's still something that like, I just practice for fun. But, yeah, I think I love the radio side and kind of just like, came a part of that and like persistency after college, but definitely like being on camera. I love making my videos. Like I love the production side of it,
Yep.
and like making it look visually appealing. I make like little recap videos for myself if like I attend like a wedding or like a special event. Like I don't know. I just love to like look back on things. So I'm a very visual person, and I don't know. I think being on camera is definitely the end goal. Working for the St. Louis Blues would be, the cherry on top of all of
Right.
that. But everyone says be willing to travel, and I am. So
that is awesome. I really do hope you get there.
thank
Because
you.
I do love like everything that I've seen from you. I've absolutely loved. Even your like the Deek's Peak, the Triple Deek, like all that stuff.
Thank
I'm
you.
liking all that stuff all the time. So
Thank you.
speaking of those, as a I want to call myself an amateur content creator. Like I'm literally in a laundry room right now. Like, come on.
Hey, I'm in the basement. It's okay. You do what you got to do.
So my question is, like, what's your process for those? Like, I understand you're probably recording on your phone,
Mhm.
but then, like, for me, my process is I like record on my phone while also recording into Logic, for audio, and then I mash it all together in iMovie. Like, what are you using? Just for my nerd brain.
Yeah, I use CapCut.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I use CapCut. I think it's very user friendly. And then to like make it high quality, I then usually put it in Canva, to just like amp it up a little bit.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm very like, I use the same template for every video. Like I'm a work smarter person.
Yep.
So especially like when you have the schedule like I do, you have to make sure that you're getting things out pretty quickly. So
Yep.
But yeah, I use CapCut and then Canva if I need. But yeah, I just film everything, film and edit and post it all on my phone.
See, I love that honestly people can do that.
Yes.
Because I feel like you get a lot more opinions. Maybe some of them aren't high quality, but you get a lot of opinions, and I just love to see what people are thinking. But on the subject of CapCut, I was using that. I absolutely loved it. And
Yeah.
then they were like, you got to pay like every month. And I'm like, no, or
I
something.
know.
There was a pay there. Well, and I think it's because I was wanting to do more than the free limited me to.
Yeah,
So
there's like a lot of like fun transitions and everything. They're
yeah.
like, you need the pro. And I was like, no, I don't need the pro. Like I choreograph for dance teams and stuff, and
Mhm.
like I cut my music on there. So like as long as you like screen record and then you can like extract the audio, like it's like I love it for everything. But yeah, I definitely have the free version because
Man, yeah, I don't know what it was that I was trying to do. Editing was so much easier on there,
yes.
because for some reason, and people are going to tune out immediately as I start talking about this. But in CapCut, you can cut something, group it, highlight both of them, and then like drag it, and you're cutting out that
Yes.
sound, and it does it for both of them. If you do that with iMovie, you have to like move the one and then move the other, and then it's very annoying.
I've only used iMovie when I need something to be horizontal.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like I've made like slideshows and everything like so I use iMovie for that. But yeah, it's tedious on there.
yeah. Oh, I find myself, like my filming is simply, I don't know, 30 minutes or something. I write a script for like a 2-minute video,
Yeah,
and do all of that, but then it takes hours to edit because I
it's
got so much
crazy.
stuff I want to put in there.
It's crazy.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we'll kind of close things off here, but I want to know, what is the best way that you can, or that people can, see what you're doing and all of that, but also, um, what's your favorite thing that you want to promote right now?
Ooh, okay. I would say, first of all, you can find me on all socials at Jordan Deeken or 101 ESPN posts everything. And like, we're just like collaborating on all of those posts. But I also, like you mentioned, did produce the Curbside podcast with Chris Kerber. And that kind of inspired me to also make my next day reaction videos. So I think those would be the most things that I could promote. I do the First Community Credit Union game day videos for 101, where you have the triple deke. There's
Yep.
usually like one little nugget about the game, maybe about like the last time the two teams saw each other, something like that, a player to watch, and then the projected lineup. And then the next day reaction has again three, a difference making highlight. It's been a little bit difficult lately, but we're
Yes.
we're pulling them out and we're making them make sense. But yeah, it's hard when everyone's like, there are no highlights, and you're like, no, there's one little positive from every game.
There was a save.
Um, Yes, and then player to watch follow up, just to talk about who we were watching and what they came away doing, and then I'll look ahead to the next game. So those game day previews and those reaction videos, I think, are my pride and joy right now. But you can also hear me on 101 ESPN, any Blues game. Lots of promos for that curbside, and yeah, so I tried to do it all,
Yep,
so I'm
busy,
out there, you
busy.
can find me. Yes, very busy.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here. I really appreciate it. For me, like I said, I'm just a blues fan who's just recording in the laundry room. I got to work at a grocery store tomorrow, so like, this isn't huge, but it's huge for me.
No, I appreciate it. This is the first time I've ever been asked to do something like this. So, like, it means a
Really?
lot to me. Yes, absolutely. So,
Oh,
it means a lot to me too. So, thank you very much, Corey.
absolutely. Well, everybody, please, listen to 101 ESPN. Check out Jordan on all the socials, and check out the Triple Deke. That's my favorite. So, for both of us here, thank you for joining STL Hockey Fan Podcast. Have a wonderful day. Love you guys. Let's go Blues.